Okay, over here.
I'd like to thank Cornerstone for putting this together and for the speakers. And for the speakers agreeing to come and educate us. My question is, there's a lot of people in the room, it's very crowded in the vestibule, that's great, but compared to the whole state, we're kind of small. So I guess what I'm asking is, as I talk to neighbors, the most common response I get is, what's that? I've never heard of it. I talk to my state senator, and I get the same answer. What is that? Oh, I think the Governors Association is backing that. It's supposed to be this good thing. My question to you is, what simple little phrase could we take to get people, or to say to somebody who doesn't know or hasn't heard of it, in a very simple, short little statement that would be able to either get them interested or educate?
Say, we used to be we've been a high-performing state. They're imposing a new curriculum on us that's never been tried, and it's inflexible and it's mediocre.
Actually, there's a little ditty that some parents have developed that goes something like this, and you'll have to find it on the web or on one of the anti-Common Core sites about we're all learning less because Common Core is a mess, or something like that. It's cool to sing it because some of them in some schools are being taught we're learning more because of Common Core. The propaganda is coming through in a different way, so you need to, so several people developed a counter ditty. I'm not that clever.
I mean, and one of the things, this is why we're doing this tonight, is because exactly that problem. I talk to people and they've never heard of this. They don't even know it's in their school. They don't know this is going on. So, you know, I'm trying to educate people. There's the Stop Common Core New Hampshire Facebook page, New Hampshire Families for Education. They're getting out there, they're doing the research. So, you know, there's ways, contact me. Let me know that you're interested. I mean, I've gone to the Board of Education meetings, and there's been just a handful of us, and I could really have used this crowd. I mean, can't even begin to tell you, to tell them, do not put this in the rules. They're putting it in the rules, which is going to mandate this in
Another thing that gets people good and excited is the indoctrination problem. The thing like training your children to manipulate their parents. That sometimes will get your neighbors excited.
But I also will warn you about the forthcoming possible science standards, and I don't know what the status of that is in New Hampshire. Achieve has come out with new, quotes, possibly national science standards, and they have been roasted by scientists because at the high school level, they leave out most of high school chemistry. And they make physics almost unteachable because there's a certain amount of math you need for physics, a full-year lab course, and the math isn't there. So the problems are enormous with an inquiry approach that de-emphasizes science content. And that is the issue that you could start thinking about. Is the Board of Ed contemplating it? It's about 6 states have adopted them, Rhode Island being one of them. I have no idea what's going on in the heads of the boards of education when the reviews by scientists are all negative. Just don't understand it.
Right here.
I wanted to respond to some of the things that people have been asking. I'm one of those, actually, my town is right next to Representative Cormier's town, and I have done a little bit to help her, and she's done a lot to help us. We have a stupid school board that does...
Maybe you should stand up and say that.
We have a stupid school board. And so I have gone to the Department of Education, I have gone to this one, email, blah, 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 and been cut out, completely cut out. They want nothing to do with the sane and rational person, which is actually making me
Single
nuts.
rational person.
Simple and stupid. No, but anyway, I finally did go to Education Committee member, who is part of our Republican committee, and he went to this person, went to that person, and I'm here to tell you that it is now in Congress. Our representatives, our senators are now talking about a bill to change this, to make this go away, and make the Department of Education responsible for the craziness that they have brought upon the students, the young people here in New Hampshire.
I think it's important to mention too, Marco Rubio, senator from Florida, has made very clear in his opposition to the Common Core. Ted Cruz, the senator in Texas. We just did a paper that we released last week that has a preface done by Senator Chuck Grassley from Iowa. I mean, increasingly there are vocal members of Congress that are beginning to really make a big deal about this. And you've got U.S. senators. You could go approach them in their offices, and I think some of them could be receptive to
They
it.
have recently come here to New Hampshire, and they have talked about these issues on open mic and telling everyone what their feelings are about it. The problem that I think is going on is that people, like this gentleman asked, what do we say, what simple thing we say? I think people see Cruz and Rubio and people like that distanced,
Yep.
unapproachable. They really aren't helping me. What can I do in my home? Well, what actually has happened in our little town is that we now have the slogan, the dumbing down of America.
That's an all right way to talk about it.
It works.
Remember, what's more complicated than the Federal Reserve System? And yet, the people that don't like it, they've figured out ways to talk about it. So we can figure out this complicated thing, which is made partly deliberately complicated in order to obscure what's going on. So there's three main areas of opposition. There's the nationalization of curriculum issue. There's the quality issue. Is this good enough? And there's the teacher professionalism issue, okay? So you can approach your Republican representatives and senators on the quality and the federalism issues, and you can approach your Democratic senators and representatives on the quality issue and the teacher professionalism issue. So you got something for everybody here.
And I think the other thing you want to keep in mind too is that, I mean, I've heard that New Hampshire's a state that people visit if they want to become president, right? Look, there are, I think we ought to be clear. I mean, we've been critical of the Obama administration pushing for it, but Jeb Bush is taking money from the Gates Foundation, and he's an advocate for it. And I think everyone knows that he wants to be president. So just make yourself heard to people, any candidates of any party that come to the state.
Bipartisan criticism.
By the way, in fact, when Mitt Romney had his first town hall at the very beginning of his campaign here in New Hampshire, what do you know? But Anne Marie was there with question, what is it about, what's your stand on Common Core? And he had to take a position, and he stuck to it the whole campaign. So thank you, Anne Marie.
Right, yeah. But did someone leave a purse? If you did, it's up here. All right, got it.
She likes it, she's gonna keep it.
QaA TV.